up, guys? It's your boy McCarley33Yo here. We're back for week number 6 of McCarley's Play of the Week. This week we're back on defense, and we're going to focus today on a blitz that I have found that I really like to use. It is definitely a pretty effective blitz that your opponent's going to have the max protect to pick up. So the reason this video didn't get uploaded yesterday was because there was a patch that came out to Madden yesterday, and I wanted to make sure this was still going to work post-patch. So I spent yesterday labbing this up and making sure it still worked post-patch, and it does. So we're going to show you what we're talking about today. Today we're going to be in nickel normal, and in nickel normal we're going to be running corner blitz 3. And then we're going to run it today against gun bunch. Gun bunch is one of the best blitz pickup formations in all of Madden, so that's why I want to really run this blitz against one of the better formations at picking up blitzes. So the first thing I'm going to show you for setup, I'm going to show you for this play is how this play works. I'm going to show you when your opponent sends all 5 players out on routes. You know, all 3 receivers in the bunch, the solo receiver plus the running back, all of them out on routes, so he has an empty backfield. This blitz is going to come in hot and heavy, and it's going to definitely make him block the running back to start. All right, so the first thing we're going to do on defense is we're going to pinch our defensive line, and you can do that by hitting left on the D-pad to open up your defensive line adjustment and just pushing the stick down to pinch them. And then we're going to move, or we're going to slant them outside, right? So open the same menu up, left on the D-pad, and then up on the right stick to slant them outside. And then we're going to go grab our outside corner, who is Denzel Ward for the Browns, and you're going to put him on the hip of this defensive end, like right about here is good. Get him in the predator stance if you can. Sometimes that's tough because they don't want to move. They don't want to do what you want. But anyway, you get the idea. Get him on the left hip, or get him on the the left hip of this defensive end. He's already blitzing, so nothing else really needs done there for him. Just get him right here about in this spot. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab this corner, the nickel corner, and you're going to make him blitz. He's in a seam flat to start the play. You're actually going to make him blitz as well. And then you can do that by hitting the X button. If you're ever on the player, if you're already controlling that player, and you hit the X button, it's going to open up their quick adjustment menu. And that allows you to put them in whatever possible zone or man assignments that you can give them. In this case, we're going to make him blitz. And then what we're going to do there is we're going to put on a QB contain. So that's L1 or LB if you're on Xbox, and then R1 or RB if you're on Xbox to set up the contain. And that's what it's going to look like. All right, so we got the contain there. And then from there, the coverage behind this blitz, whatever you want to do with it is up to you. I will run some man coverage behind it sometimes. You know, I do a lot of different things, so it really just depends on personnel and things like that, what the score is in the game and how confident I'm feeling, things like that. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to man up everybody. So this is this blitz against all 5 route runners being out on routes. So everyone who could possibly run a route on this play is going to be out, and you're going to see how quick Lamar Jackson is under pressure, right? So when the ball is snapped, we want to be hovering over this B gap in the predator stance. So this is the predator stance where they're kind of leaning forward, where it looks like they're going to blitz. That's what we want, and we're going to hover here when the ball is snapped. So when the ball is snapped, you're just going to hold the L2 button to hold in place just for a second, right? Not super long at all, just long enough to kind of distract the offensive line, and then our corners are going to come in screaming, right? So ball snapped, we're hovering here, and then our corners come in free. And there you go. They actually forced a fumble that time, so you get the idea. So against an empty backfield, this play is absolutely screaming, right? But when your opponent gets knocked down by that, they're going to block the running back because it's only natural to block the running back there to help pick up the pressure. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pinch our line, and we're going to crash them outside. We're going to go grab our outside corner, put them on the hip here. We're going to go grab. Sometimes they turn like this, and it's actually really weird, and I don't know why they do it. Then we're going to grab this corner here. We're going to blitz him as well. He's in the predator stance. We're going to QB contain, and then from there, we're just going to man up whoever you want or do whatever you want with the coverage. With the patch yesterday came the improved zone coverage. So zone coverage definitely plays a lot better now. So if you want to run zone coverage out of this, feel free. I'm just manning everyone up just because it's easiest for me to do right now. But definitely feel free to run man coverage. Don't forget your QB contains. And then we're still going to hover over the B gap. What we're trying to do is distract the running back long enough to get our outside corner, which is Denzel Ward in this case, to come around the edge and sack the quarterback. Sometimes we can even get the nickel corner to get around the running back as well with a good hover. So we're going to hover here and just wait. There you go. Denzel Ward comes in. All right. So now we've seen that we can get this blitz home against an empty backfield, against blocking the running back, they're going to have to max protect to pick up this blitz, right? So if they max protect, which is where they block the tight end and the running back, now they only have 3 receivers, and we set our blitz up just the same. The blitz probably will not come in, but at the same time, now you got your opponent to where they're sacrificing routes because they're tired of getting sacked, right? So that's definitely a good thing. That's what you want to do, because then once you see that they're max protecting, that's going to allow you to drop more guys into coverage, and then that's really going to mess them up too. When they drop back to throw with max protection, but you're only sending 4, so now all of a sudden there are 7 guys playing coverage, 6 guys playing coverage plus your user will lurk in the field, and they only have 3 routes, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. All right, so that's why, you know, we're going to do the same thing here. Again, we're hovering against max protection. Now you see the blitz doesn't come in, but if we drop more guys into coverage against max protection, right? So let's actually do that, right? So they'll max protect, right? Now they're max protecting. All right, so we know they're max protecting. We're still going to give the illusion that we're blitzing, right? So we still do all the same things. We're actually gonna let's do this. Let's man up. Let's man up the outside guy. We'll put him in a deep half. Put him in a deep half. All right, then we'll put TJ Carey here. Put him in a curl flat. We'll shade that to a cloud flat. So now we got 2 cloud flats. Put Denzel Ward in an outside quarter. Sure. We'll put him in a cloud flat. We'll put Joe Sherbert in a mid read. All right. So now you've got all these guys in coverage. All right. You got all these guys in coverage. You're only sending 4. They're max protecting. So now they only have 3 routes. And it's going to be a very, very long day trying to throw the ball against this. Right. So you got everybody here doing all this. Right, let's actually go ahead and put him in a vert hook, and then we'll put Denzel Ward, or the outside corner, in a cloud flat. So now you've got all this going on, and they only have 3 routes, right? So now you got all these guys in zone coverage, and they only have 3 routes to throw to. All right, see, and that's where you get the coverage sack. So that's what we want. Once we sack him a couple of times with this setup, right? Once they empty out the backfield and they're trying to throw the ball against this defense. Right. Right. So once they get a taste of this after they're trying to send 5 people out on routes, and we just bring them screaming to the ground. Once they go to max protection and then we stop blitzing, they're gonna have to send more people out on routes, and then we go right back to blitzing. Right. So this blitz is something you can definitely use to frustrate the crap out of your opponent, and that's what you want in Madden 20. You know, you can't get enough of frustrating your opponent. All right. So again, I recommend you guys try this blitz. This is something. This is pretty setup intensive, right? And in Madden 20, it's a lot harder to set your defense up because, you know, people can quick snap you and things like that. So I recommend getting in practice mode and just trying to get this blitz down, trying to get these adjustments down. Because if you can get these adjustments down in time, you know, you can really make your opponent's life miserable. With all this. So if you set it up, you know, as quick as you can and just kind of do what you can to get these adjustments down, I promise you it will be very, very beneficial for you as a Madden player, right? So it is setup intensive. It doesn't take super long to set up, but it can definitely be frustrating to be getting quick snaps. So that's why you know, I just recommend that you do what you can to get these adjustments down. Now, one thing I will stress as far as Madden goes, especially this year, is when you're making adjustments on defense, if you are making adjustments, get your most important adjustments done first. So whatever you feel is most important to the success of your defense as far as adjustments go, make sure you are doing those as soon as you call your play, right? Because you don't want to, you know, end up with a busted coverage or not having the right people blitzing or something like that because you were doing other adjustments first. So I just recommend whatever you feel like is the most important adjustment to make on your defense, make that adjustment first. For me, the most important thing we want to do is pinch the D-line, crash them outside, and then get our blitzers in, get our corners in place, right? Get these guys in place, because the zone coverage that's stock behind this is not terrible, especially for how fast the blitz comes in, right? So get those guys in place first, slap your QB contains on, and then worry about the rest, right? So, you know, whatever other adjustments you want to make behind the blitz, do those last, only because the zones that you see here, the stock zones, aren't terrible, especially for how fast the blitz gets in. So just keep that in mind as well, that yeah, it would definitely be ideal to get all these adjustments in, but definitely start with the blitz setup adjustments, because it's gonna cause the most frustration for your opponent. And that's just something I would recommend doing first. Just as soon as you call your play and you're running this setup, immediately go ahead and start moving people around and getting them set up, right? So you see there, I got everybody in place in 2 or 3 seconds, right? So that's what you want to do first, right? Those are your first adjustments, and then if you have extra time, go ahead and adjust the zones behind it. But just make sure you get those done first. Just if you're trying to bring down the quarterback, make sure you get your pass rush adjustments in first for this play specifically. Now that's not for every play. You know, if there are some plays where it's like a more coverage based defense where the adjustments are more important to be done in the secondary first, do that first. Just with the reduced time you have to set up and get into your defense, I just recommend doing your most important adjustments first, and then, you know, fine tuning everything else with whatever time you have left before your opponent snaps the ball. All right, so that is gonna do it here for this week's edition of McCarley's Play of the Week. If you like the video, if you like the content, please hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back with an offensive video again. So until that time, guys, keep having fun, keep slinging dots, enjoy Madden 20, and I'll see you guys next week.